Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for NIO Incorporated's first quarter 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host, Mr. Rudy Chen, Director of Investor Relations of the company. Please go ahead, Rudy.
Thank you, Rachel. Good evening and good morning, everyone. Welcome to NIO's fourth quarter 2020 earnings conference call. The company's financial and operating results were published in the press release earlier today and are posted at the company's IR website. On today's call, we have Mr. William Li, Founder, Chairman of the Board, and CEO, Ms. Steven Feng, Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Danny Chu, VP of Finance. Before we continue, please be kindly reminded that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's actual results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding risks and uncertainties is included in certain filings of the company with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statement except as required under applicable law. Please also note that NIO's earnings press release and this conference call include discussions of unaudited GAAP financial measures, as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial measures. Please refer to NIO's press release, which contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to comparable GAAP measures. With that, I will now turn the call over to our CEO, Mr. William Li. William, go ahead, please.
大家好，非常感谢各位参加未来2020年第一季度的季报电话会议。
Hello everyone, thank you for joining NIO's 2020 Q1 earnings call.
2020年第一季度，未来总共交付了3838辆 ES8 和 ES6。从4月份开始，我们的交付量积极反弹。4月份交付了3155辆 ES8 和 ES6， 环比增长 105.8%。
In the first quarter of 2020, NIO delivered an aggregate of 3,838 ES8 and ES6. Starting from April, our sales and deliveries have witnessed a solid recovery. We delivered a total of 3,155 ES8 and ES6 in April, representing a robust 105.8% month-over-month growth.
让我们备受鼓舞的是，自2019年10月起 ，ES6 连续7个月蝉联中国电动 SUV 市场销量冠军，同时也是豪华中型 SUV 前10的销量中唯一的电动汽车。
We are extremely proud that since October 2019, NIO ES6 has outperformed others and ranked as the top-selling electric SUV in China auto market for 7 consecutive months. It is the only electric vehicle among the top 10 best-selling luxury mid-size SUVs.
受疫情影响，第一季度中国乘用车市场销量同比下滑 41%， 而我们第一季度的交付量同比仅下降了 3.8%。我们由于行业的表现得益于全程在线的业务流程和基于云连接的服务体系，我们的产品和服务体系在疫情期间经受住了考验，得到了市场和用户的广泛认可。
Due to the impact of COVID-19, the overall passenger vehicle sales in China has slumped by 41% year-over-year, yet our Q1 deliveries decreased only by 3.8% compared with the same period of 2019. Our bucking the trend performance is mainly attributable to the end-to-end direct sales business process and the cloud-based service system. Our products and the service system have withstood the arduous test during this unprecedented outbreak. and won wide recognition from the market and users.
4月19日，全新 ES8 开始交付给用户。全新 ES8 进行了超过180项产品升级 ，NEDC 的续航里程最高可以达到580公里，综合竞争力进一步提升。交付后受到了用户和媒体的普遍好评。
On April 19, the all-new ES8 commenced deliveries to users. It boasts over 180 improvements, with the NEDC range reaching up to 580 kilometers. With further enhancement on its comprehensive competitiveness, the all-new ES8 has received rave reviews across the board from the users and media after the deliveries.
随着中国疫情得到控制，从4月份开始，我们在供应链、制造、销售、服务、研发等方面的工作都开始逐步恢复正常。疫情对供应链和生产制造的影响逐步消除，我们的研发工作开始提速，线下的销售网络也逐步恢复活力。
As the novel coronavirus outbreak has been brought under control in China, since April, our business operations have started to return to normalcy in every aspect, including supply chain, manufacturing, sales, services, and R&D. The supply chain and manufacturing have gradually recovered from the pandemic. In the meantime, our R&D activities are picking up speed, and the offline sales network is also bouncing back.
从4月份开始，我们继续积极开拓线上线下结合的创新销售渠道。今年以来，我们已经在24个城市新增了44个未来空间。目前，我们已经有22个未来中心和92个未来空间，覆盖中国76个城市。后续我们会继续计划采用高效和灵活的未来空间，进一步增加门店的数量和覆盖的社区。
Starting from April, we have been continuously exploring innovative sales channels, leveraging the advantages of both online and offline platforms. In 2020, we have opened 44 new spaces in 24 cities. So far, we have opened 22 new houses and 92 new spaces in 76 cities around China. We will continue to open more efficient and flexible new spaces to increase our offline touchpoints and community presence.
从4月下旬开始，我们的新增订单已经恢复到疫情前的水平。随着供应链与生产制造逐步恢复正常，我们有信心在第二季度交付9500到10000辆 ES8 和 ES6， 达到历史季度的交付新高。
Since late April, our daily new order rate has already returned to the level before the outbreak. In light of the normalization of supply chain and production, we are confident to deliver 9,500 to 10,000 ES8 and ES6 in total in the second quarter, reaching an all-time high in our quarterly deliveries.
在毛利率方面，随着季度交付量的跃升，电子包及其他物料采购价格的下降，制造费效的改善以及平均销售价格的稳中有升，我们的毛利率将在第二季度得到大幅改善，预计整车毛利率将在第二季度超过 5%。
As for the gross margin, along with the strong recovery of quarterly deliveries, reduction of battery pack and other BOM costs, optimization of manufacturing expenses and efficiency, and the steady rise of the average selling price, we expect our overall gross margin to substantially improve, and the vehicle gross margin to reach over 5% in the second quarter this year.
自2019年以来，我们开始整个公司的组织调整和运营优化，整体效率得到了显著提升。2020年的第一季度，公司的销售和管理费用环比减少了 45.1%， 运营亏损环比下降 44.4%。 第二季度虽然销售费用和研发支出会有所增加，但考虑到毛利的提升，我们仍然有信心推动运营亏损继续收窄。
After a series of restructuring and operational optimization initiatives across the company since 2019, overall efficiency has been significantly improved. In the first quarter 2020, the company SG&A has dropped by 45.1% from Q4 2019, and the operating loss has decreased by 44.4% quarter-over-quarter. In the second quarter, the SG&A and R&D expenses will increase to some extent, but considering our gross margin improvement, we are still confident to reduce operating loss.
接下来我想跟大家分享一下第二季度2项重点工作的最新进展。
Next, I would like to share with you the latest progress on 2 important tasks in the second quarter.
首先是 Battery as a Service BaaS 创新业务模式的进展。大家知道我们一直致力于可充可换可升级车电分离的电池服务商业模式，即 BaaS。BaaS 可以降低初始购买门槛，让用户享受持续升级的电池和更好的电动汽车补能体验。目前，蔚来在与换电相关的车、电池包、换电站、云端服务已经拥有1200多项专利，在58个城市建成了131座换电站。我们给用户提供的换电服务累计已经突破了50万次。蔚来车电分离的创新模式得到了用户和行业的广泛认可。
First, the progress on the innovative business model of a battery as a service. It is widely acknowledged that we have always been working on the chargeable, swappable, and upgradable battery service model based on the separation of a vehicle and battery, that is BaaS. BaaS can lower the initial purchase price and enable users to continuously upgrade the battery and enjoy better power replenishment experience. NIO owns more than 1,200 battery swap related patents on the vehicle battery pack, battery swap stations, and the cloud services solutions. To date, we have deployed 131 battery swap stations in 58 cities nationwide and completed over 500,000 battery swaps accumulatively. NIO's innovative business model based on the separation of a battery and vehicle has won wide recognition from the users and the industry.
今年4月份，中国工信部、科技部、发改委和财政部联合发布了新能源汽车补贴的最新政策，明确提到了鼓励换电技术和车电分离相关的商业模式的发展。根据新的政策，蔚来成为30万元以上唯一可以享受补贴的享受国家补贴的豪华电动汽车品牌。我们会根据国家政策，加快制定 BaaS 相关的产品和服务解决方案，实现真正的车电分离。这一服务预计今年下半年正式推出。随着时间的推移，我们相信在 BaaS 方面的竞争优势会逐渐显现。
In April, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the Ministry of Science and Technology, the National Development and Reform Commission, and the Ministry of Finance jointly issued the latest new energy vehicle subsidy policy, which clearly stated to encourage the development of a battery swap technology and innovative business models based on the separation of a battery and a vehicle. With the new policy, NIO is the only premium EV brand with products priced over 300,000 RMB, yet still receiving the national EV subsidy. Based on the latest published policy, we will speed up the development of BaaS products and service solutions, which are planned to release to users in the second half of this year. As the time goes on, we believe our competitive edge enhanced by BaaS will become more self-evident.
最后，我跟大家更新一下蔚来中国项目的进展。4月29日，蔚来与战略投资者签订了最终投资协议。根据协议，蔚来将向蔚来中国注入中国范围内包括整车研发、供应链、销售与服务、蔚来能源的核心业务与相关资产， 战略投资者将向未来中国投资70亿元人民币。此外，未来将向未来中国投资42.6亿元人民币。交易完成后，未来将持有未来中国75.9%的控股股份，战略投资者将合计持有24.1%的股份。未来中国将成为未来的控股子公司。
Last but not least, I would like to share with you the progress of New China project. On April 29, NIO entered into definitive agreements with a group of strategic investors. Under the agreement, NIO will inject its core businesses and assets in China into New China, including vehicle research and development, supply chain, sales and services, and NIO Power. The strategic investors will invest an aggregate of 7 billion RMB into NIO China. In addition, NIO will invest 4.26 billion RMB into NIO China. Upon the completion of the investment, NIO will hold 75.9% of controlling equity interests in NIO China, while the strategic investors will collectively hold the remaining 24.1%, and NIO China will be a subsidiary of NIO.
此次未来中国的战略融资是未来发展的又一个重要里程碑，未来将有更充裕的资金支持业务发展，并进一步打通人民币融资的通道，以确保持续推出领先的豪华智能电动汽车产品与技术，并为用户提供优秀的服务体验。未来中国总部落户合肥，也将进一步提高我们的运营效率，从而保持长期的竞争力。
The strategic investment in NIO China is another important milestone of NIO for its long-term growth. With the investment, NIO will have sufficient funds to support its business development and to open RMB financing channels in order to enhance its leadership in products and the technologies of smart electric vehicles and offer services exceeding users' expectations. The launch of NIO China headquarters in Hefei will enable NIO to improve its operational efficiency and to sustain its growth and competitiveness in the long run.
目前交易推进顺利，我们有信心在2020年6月底之前完成交易的交割。
The transactions are proceeding well according to plan. We're fully confident that it will be closed before the end of June 2020.
感谢大家的支持。现在 Steven 将为大家介绍第一季度的财务业绩。请 Steven。
Thank you for your support. With that, I will now turn the call over to Steven to provide the financial details for the quarter. Steven, please go ahead.
Thank you, William. I will now go over our key financial results for the first quarter of 2020. And to be mindful of the length of this call, I encourage listeners to refer to our earnings press release, which is posted online for additional details. Our total revenue in the first quarter was 1.37 billion RMB, or $193.8 million, representing a decrease of 51.8% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 15.9% year-over-year. The decrease in total revenues quarter-over-quarter was due to a decrease of vehicle deliveries during the COVID-19 outbreak in China. Our total revenues are made of two parts: vehicle sales and other sales. Vehicle sales in the first quarter were 1.26 billion RMB, or $177.3 million, representing a decrease of 53.2% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 18.2% year-over-year. Vehicle sales accounted for 92% of total revenues in this quarter. Other sales in the first quarter were 116.4 million RMB, or $16.4 million, representing a decrease of 29.2% quarter-over-quarter and an increase of 21.2% year-over-year. The decrease in other sales over last quarter was mainly attributed to decreased revenues derived from the home chargers installed and accessories sold, which were in line with the decreased vehicle sales in the first quarter of 2020. Cost of sale in the first quarter was 1.54 billion RMB, or $217.4 million, representing a decrease of 50.4% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 16.8% year-over-year. The decrease in cost of sales compared to the fourth quarter of 2019 was mainly driven by the decrease of delivered volume of the ES6 and ES8 in the first quarter of 2020. Gross margin in the first quarter was negative 12.2%, compared with negative 8.9% in the fourth quarter of 2019 and the negative 13.4% in the same quarter of 2019. The decrease of gross margin compared to the fourth quarter of 2019 was mainly driven by the decrease of vehicle margin in the first quarter of 2020. More specifically, vehicle margin in the first quarter was negative 7.4% compared with negative 6.0% in the fourth quarter of 2019 and the negative 7.2% in the same quarter of 2019. The decrease of vehicle margin compared to the fourth quarter of 2019 was mainly driven by the decrease of production and delivered volume of ES6 and ES8 in the first quarter of 2020. R&D expenses in the first quarter were 522.4 million RMB, representing a decrease of 49.1% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 51.6% year-over-year. The substantial decrease in research and development expenses was primarily attributed to the COVID-19 outbreak that caused the significant reduction of design and development activities. SG&A expenses in the first quarter were 848.3 million RMB, representing a decrease of 45.1% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 35.7% year-over-year. The decrease over the fourth quarter of 2019 was primarily attributed to some one-off expenses incurred for the optimization of our sales network structure in late 2019 and the COVID-19 outbreak that caused the significant decrease of marketing and promotion activities, as well as the decrease of activities in business support functions in the first quarter of 2020. The decrease of R&D expenses and SG&A expenses were also attributed to the improvement of operating efficiency resulting from our operation optimization and cost control efforts. Loss from operations in the first quarter was 1.57 billion RMB, representing a decrease of 44.4% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 40% year-over-year. Share-based compensation expenses in the first quarter were 32.4 million RMB, representing a decrease of 36.8% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 72.9% year-over-year. The decrease in share-based compensation expenses over the fourth quarter of 2019 was primarily attributed to the continuous decline in the number of employees and the impact of part of the share-based compensation expenses being recognized by using the accelerated method previously. Net loss was 1.69 billion RMB in the first quarter, representing a decrease of 40.9% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 35.5% year-over-year. Net loss attributable to NIO's ordinary shareholders in this quarter was 1.72 billion RMB, representing a decrease of 40.5% quarter-over-quarter and a decrease of 35% year-over-year. Basic and diluted net loss per ADS in the first quarter were both 1.66 RMB or 23 cents per ADS. Excluding share-based compensation expenses and accretion of redeemable non-controlling interests to redemption value, non-GAAP adjusted basic and diluted net loss per ADS were both 1.60 RMB or 22 cents per ADS in the first quarter. Our balance of cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, and short-term investment was 2.40 billion RMB as of March 31st, 2020. And now for business outlook. As William mentioned, for the second quarter of 2020, the company expects deliveries to be between 9,500 and 10,000 vehicles, representing an increase of approximately 147.5% to 160.6% from the first quarter of 2020, and an increase of approximately 167.4% to 181.5% from the second quarter of 2019. The company also expects the total revenues of the second quarter of 2020 to be between 3.37 to 3.53 billion RMB, or between 475.7 to 499.1 million US. This would represent an increase of approximately 145.5% to 157.6% from the first quarter of 2020, an increase of approximately 123.3% to 134.3% from the second quarter of 2019. This outlook reflects the company's current and preliminary review on the business situation and market condition, which is subject to change. Now, this concludes our prepared remarks. I will now turn the call over to the operator to facilitate our Q&A session.
Operator, let's start the Q&A session, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press pound or hash key. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, please limit yourself to 2 questions, and if you have additional questions, you can re-enter queue. Your first question comes from the line of Tim Xiao from Morgan Stanley. Please ask your question.
Hi, William, Stephen, Jade, and Tim. Congratulations on the solid progress, and thanks for taking my question. So just 2 quick questions. First is about Volkswagen's strategic move of purchasing a big stake in JAC. Although we know the deal might take place at the parent co level and shouldn't have any immediate impact to our current partnership with JAC, but would you concerned about the long-term collaboration with JAC, or that would urge NIO to reconsider the capacity expansion plan or alternative manufacturing partner? That's the first question. And my second question is about our agreement with the Hefei investors. According to the details shared, I think the new Honghui needs to apply for IPO within 4 years and complete the deal within 5 years after the initial investment. So could you please share a little bit more color regarding the potential listing? What's the current progress, the updated schedule, and any expectation from you or any thoughts? That's my two questions. Thank you.
好，谢谢。我们近期也看到了一些市场的传闻，说这个 Volkswagen 和 JAC 会有一些更深入的合作。当然，这个我们并不清楚其中的细节。我看到 JAC 也有一些这个 comments。那不管怎么样的话呢，我们认为这个在安徽或者合肥有更多的汽车的厂商在这个市场里边的话呢，不管是从供应链还是从各方面的效率来讲的话，肯定都是一件非常正面的事情。那我们和这个 JAC 目前的制造合作，那是双赢的，是非常深入的。我们想，这个我们不认为这样的一个合作就是会对我们的制造有什么影响。总体上来说的话呢，这个如果有这样的一个合作，当然我没法评论这个真实性的，我只是说，如果有这样一个合作的话，我相信这个对于我们在合肥的这样一个业务布局是正面的。
Thank you for your question. Recently, we do hear a lot of market speculations about the in-depth cooperation between Volkswagen and JAC. To be honest, we don't really know much about the details. Although JAC has also issued some comments about this speculation, but if we are going to have more automakers located in Hefei, I think this is a good news for us, because this is going to be beneficial for the development of a supply chain and the production capacity in Hefei. Our cooperation with the JAC is a win-win cooperation. So if JAC is going to work very closely with Volkswagen, which we're not really sure, but if this is the case, we think this is not going to affect our manufacturing. If they're going to work very closely together, we think this is very beneficial for our cooperation with JAC.
那第二个问题就是，我们和 NIO China 的话呢，对于我们来说是在整个的这个整个战略上来讲的话呢，帮我们打通了这个人民币的这个募资通道。我们也非常这个高兴，这次我们引进了几家战略投资者。那当然，这个从 NIO China 的角度来讲的话呢，我们当然是具备这个在中国的资本市场去 IPO 的这样的一个可能性的。当然我们会根据这个后续的一些资本市场，包括中国资本市场的情况，各方面的一些情况，综合去做这样的一个决策。
In terms of the question on the NIO China, from the strategic perspective, NIO China opens the RMB financing channel for NIO. So we're very happy to enter the definitive agreements with a group of investors. According to our preliminary research, we believe NIO China meets the requirements to go public in China, but we will make this dynamic decision based on the market situation.
但总体上来说，我们长期的战略就是NIO 的 Inc. 会保持对 NIO China 的一个显著的控股的地位这是我们一直的这个战略。
Our strategy is NIO Inc. is going to hold the controlling stake in NIO China for the long term.
如果大家看到我们这个和这个上次我们披露的这个信息的话，那我们对 NIO Inc. 对 NIO China 有这个回购的这样的一个权利，对一些战略投资人的股份有回购的权利，我们也有一个增发 warrants 的这样一个权利。对总体上来说的话呢，这个 NIO Inc. 对 NIO China 的一个绝对控股的这样一个安排是有保障的。
According to our previous press release, NIO Inc. has the redemption rights and the warrants on the NIO China projects. So overall speaking, NIO Inc. can have the long-term controlling stake in NIO China.
Not press release, annual report. So annual report.
According to our previous annual report, we have the right for the redemption and the warrants on the NIO China.
Yeah, actually, if you refer to the annual report that the company filed in early May, they have filed the investment agreement for the strategic investment in NIO China. According to that, NIO Inc. has the warrant to purchase more shares for NIO China, and also we have the repurchase right of the shares for the strategic investors for partial of their shareholdings in the future.
Yeah, thank you. 好，谢谢 ，Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Ben Wang of Credit Suisse. Please ask your question.
Thank you, everyone. I actually got 3 questions. Number 1 about the order. If you recall, in last call, you already provide the order in the past 30 days. So right now, can you provide from now in the past 30 days how much order you receive and what's the order flow? Because there was a local news flow that in the end of April, just the last week, you got 2,000 orders. That's why I want to get a number. What's the order in the past 30 days? That's number 1. Number 2, actually, it's about the gross margin in the second quarter. You mentioned the vehicle gross margin will go to about 5%. Can you provide a guidance for overall gross margin, not just the vehicle, but also including everything? That the gross margin overall will be turn positive in the second quarter. That's my second question. And my last question is about the potential risk came from the U.S. delisting. Think about recent China-U.S. division. They actually have some news flow to worry about all the Chinese companies may have some delisting risk. So do you have any alternative plans, say, to list in Hong Kong, or actually your China may have prepare for stable IPO? And what your, the alternative plan if you have to be delisted in the U.S.? Thank you.
好，谢谢王斌。我们第一个问题就订单的话呢，我们是从4月份的这个下旬，我们的订单就已经恢复到了疫情前的水平。那目前的话呢，这个订单的量呢还是在持续的这个上升的过程中。具体到过去的30天的话呢，因为我们有这个包括这个一些直播啊等等这样的一些这样的一些活动。所以我们的订单应该说是增长得非常不错的，当然这个具体的数字，这个我们这个没有披露啊，但是总体来说，我们说这个趋势是非常不错的。
Thank you for your question. Actually, since the late April, our order growth rate has returned to the level before the outbreak. Our current order growth momentum is actually quite strong. For the last 30 days, because we had the live streaming event and other activities. So at this moment, I cannot disclose the specific number of the orders we received in the last 30 days, but what I can say now is that the order growth momentum is very positive.
那第二个问题的话呢，毛利率我们从目前来看的话呢，整车毛利率我们认为是肯定能超过5%的。那overall 的毛利率考虑到服务方面，我们事实上今年也做了不少的这个降本增效的提升。那 overall 的毛利率，我们相信也肯定是能超过3%。
In terms of the gross margin, we believe the vehicle gross margin can be over 5%. But for the overall gross margin, because we have implemented a series of efficiency improvement and cost control measures, so our estimation is it should be over 3%.
那最后一个问题 ，Steven 你回答。
Romy, thank you for your question. I would like to answer your question about the impact of the new seller deal on NIO Inc. We have noticed that a few Chinese companies have achieved the dual listings in exchanges of the US and the UK, such as Alibaba. Looking forward, we will actively and closely monitor the changes and trends of the markets and adopt plans that best serve the interests of NIO Inc.'s investors and shareholders. I think that's our comments to your question.
Thank you, Wang Bin.
Okay, I have a very quick about the first one. Can I know right now you actually is under supply or actually is over capacity? So which means if too much demand, what's the maximum monthly supply volume? What's the number maximum capacity right now monthly?
谢谢王斌。事实上，我们现在的话，确确实实我们是很多用户在等着我们的生产，我们的订单是有比较多的这个用户是等了一段时间了包括 ES6 的用户、ES8 的用户，当然我们还有 EC6，当然会更远一点了。那目前的话是这样，我们的合肥的工厂的产能呢是能够做到单班的生产4000台，就15个 JPH 加上一些加班，每天工作10小时，是可以这个达到每个月4000台的。但是我们有一些供应链的这个合作伙伴的话呢，他们的生产呢有一些瓶颈那我们这些供应链的有一些合作伙伴的瓶颈呢，差不多是在3500、3400、3500左右。那是一个比较极限的一个产能，差不多是在这么一个 level。所以我们现在总体上来说，虽然工厂的产能还有一些富裕，但是全程的产能还是受了一些约束。
In fact, a lot of users, or actually many users, have been waiting for the deliveries. For example, users of the ES8 and ES6, it will be even longer for the users of the EC6. In the Hefei plant, under one shift, the monthly production capacity should be around 4,000 units with 15 JPH. And this means that the workers will need to work around 10 hours every day. But because some supply chain partners in our supply chain, they have some constraints on the production capacity, which means the production capacity for those supply chain partners is around 3,400 to 3,500. So although we still have some capacity in our own Hefei plant, but the overall capacity in the supply chain is limited.
考虑到很多的用户在等着交车，所以我们已经决定增加全程的整个全这个层的这个产能全产业链的产能，我们已经在要求我们的供应链的合作伙伴也增加他们的产能。但是你也知道这是一个系统的工程。那目前来看的话呢，8、9月份我们的计划是8月份最晚9月份，我们把我们全产业链的产能要提升到每个月4500台到5000台。
We understand many users have been waiting for the vehicle deliveries. That is why we would like to boost the capacity in the overall supply chain system, which means our partners will also need to increase their production capacity. This requires a systematic effort across the supply chain. According to our plans, around August and September, we should be able to increase the monthly production capacity to around 4,500 to 5,000.
这总的来说的话呢，在提升产能方面，我们会相对的保守一点因为我们当然另外一方面，我们看到了我们的需求在持续上涨，用户的需求是在订单持续的上涨，我们会很好的 balance 这个提升产能的计划。
Overall speaking, we are quite conservative in terms of the production capacity increase, but we would like to strike a balance between the order growth and our production capacity increase, considering the strong momentum on the demand side.
谢谢王斌。
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Lei Wang of CICC. Please ask your question.
Thanks, William. Thanks, Stephen. This is Wang Lei speaking from CICC.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
on recent strong deliveries. I have two questions, if you don't mind. So we have achieved a historical low SG&A and R&D expenses in the first quarter. That's mainly attributed to the virus outbreaks, I believe. Can we have your guidance on the operating expense for the next few quarters? That was the first question. And the second question is about the deal again, because as the last day of the first quarter, we have cash and equivalents around 2.4 billion RMB, while we should ingest about total 2.5 billion cash before June 2020. So do we need to issue the new convertible bonds or issue the new private placement?
Stanley， 你回答一下第一个问题。
Okay. This is Stanley. Regarding the first question, in Q1 2020, we have seen expected results from the cost control efforts, including the organization optimization and some restructuring initiatives. And expenses in Q2 and going forward, I think will increase quarter-over-quarter compared with Q1 due to more R&D and marketing activities being performed in Q2. But considering our gross margin improvements, we are still confident to reduce the operating loss. And we expect the trend to continue in 2020. Yeah, that's all for question 1.
Okay, so Wang, for your second question, yes, you're right. We have 2.4 billion RMB on our balance sheet, and we will inject 2.4 billion RMB into NIO China. So first of all, we still have some cash, as you see in our balance sheet, unused from the previous CBs, which can be injected to NIO China as part of the investment from NIO Inc. And then we will closely monitor the market and determine future financing plans to support our further cash injections. And yeah, that's all.
So
thank you.
Follow-up question on the OPEX, because we have roughly 500 million monthly OPEX in the first quarter, and what's the estimation on the absolute dollar amount for the next few quarters, like 700 million, sounds like a reasonable one, or even lower?
Operating expense wise, as I mentioned, I think there will be an increase in Q2 since the more R&D and the marketing activities. Yeah. So, but generally the operating loss, I think will continue to be reduced. So the exact number.
I don't think that we are supposed to give the guidance
Yeah.
for the absolute dollar amount of the expenses for the current quarter. But our goal is to reduce the operating loss through the gross margin gains as well as the efficiencies through controlling the operating expenses.
Okay, totally understood. Thanks all.
Your next question comes from the line of Fei Feng of Goldman Sachs. Please ask your question.
Hi, congratulations on the strong results. My first question is about vehicle margin. How would you guide vehicle margin to progress beyond second quarter's 5%? Are we still tracking towards double-digit vehicle margin by the fourth quarter? That's the first question for me. Second question is, how many of your cars were sold in NIO House versus NIO Space in the first quarter and also in April? Thank you.
Okay. The first question about the vehicle margin. We still expect the gross margin to expect double digits by the end of 2020, with further decrease in BOM cost, including the battery package and also sales of more product with higher gross margin and continued optimization of our manufacturing cost.
Yeah, 对，我们还会保持这个2位数的这样一个毛利率的一个预测啊，在今年的这个年底前啊，我们现在来看是非常有信心完成这个的。那当然这个刚才你问的第二个问题，有多少这个车是在 NIO House 和这个多少在 NIO Space 里面？那目前来说的话呢，还是大部分的车还是通过 NIO House 和线上的这样一个结合卖出去的，因为我们的 NIO House 主要还是在这个我们的大的城市。所以这个主要是跟销售区域有关系，但 NIO Space 的话呢，对于我们在一些2线城市或者说3线城市去拓展我们的客户是非常有意义的。我们这个预计在3季度的话呢，会能够看到 NIO Space 它的这样的一些作用啊，在渠道拓展方面的一个帮助。那目前我总体上来看的话，应该是70%以上的车还是通过 NIO House 卖出去的，或者说 NIO House 作为一个 touch point 啊，虽然是线上的这个例子，但是会通过 NIO House 作为一个 touch point。
In terms of the first question for the gross margin, we still would like to keep our guidance regarding the double-digit gross margin by the end of this year. At this moment, we are still quite confident to achieve this objective. With respect to your second question, I would like to say that at this moment, most of the vehicle sales happens in the new houses and the online channels. This is mainly because the new houses are located in those big cities. But we believe new spaces are going to play a very important role in the future, especially in terms of the channel expansions in the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities. And it's going to play a very bigger role in the third quarter for the channel expansion in those lower tiered cities. Overall speaking, currently 70% of the vehicle sales are through the new houses and the online touch points.
That's great.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Li Mingsheng of Bank of America. Please ask your question. Li Mingsheng of Bank of America, your line is now open.
Oh, thank you. Hi, William, the management team. Thank you for your time and congrats for the good result. So I have a few questions. My first question is that when will you start to deliver EC6 and also decide the price? And also, when will you start to ship the 100 kW battery with your cars? And will there be any meaningful spec change, for example, like a driving range improvement and also increase your weight? Or overall, the weight will be maintained similar level compared to your current 84 kW models? The reason I'm asking is because I also want to know that will you start to use some more advanced like cell-to-pack battery to improve the battery density so that the horsepower can be maintained or even improved, even you use a bigger size battery. And my third question is regarding your cooperation with Hefei government. So besides the investment from Hefei, I believe Hefei will also give you more support from other, I think, financial aspects. So could you elaborate more on more support and cooperation from Hefei government? Thank you.
好，谢谢。我们的这个目前的计划还是在9月份交付这个 EC6。那100度的电池包的话呢，我们是预计在4季度交付啊。那目前我们的计划并没有变化。
Our plan is to start the deliveries of the EC6 in September and the delivery of the 100 kWh battery pack in the fourth quarter.
那我们的这个电池包虽然是这个我们现在的这个都是在一种尺寸下边去迭代的，所以但是重量不会有什么特别大的差别，就是里边的这个能量密度肯定是整包的能量密度肯定是变高了的，但是重量其实没有太大的区别，所以不会影响整车的性能。这个是我们在研发的时候是我们的一个技术的边界条件。
For the battery pack, the current battery pack will upgrade within the same size. The weight will not change, but the power density will improve. In this case, it's not going to impact on the performance of the vehicle, and this is one of the parameters and the criteria in our technology development.
所以这个其实也是我们的这样一个技术能力的一个体现。就同样大小的电池包，我们在基本上同样的重量的条件下，我们从70度电到84度电，到今年我们会发布100度电， 这个也是我们的很重要的一个理念。
This is a very important endorsement to our technical competence, because within the same battery pack size, we can upgrade the battery from the 70 kilowatt-hour to 84, and this year we're going to ship the 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack.
那第二个问题就是对于未来中国在合肥当地的运营和发展，那我们会和合肥市的政府和一些相关的部门共同探讨一些对我们的一些支持的政策。当然在符合这个市场化的这样的一个条件下的话呢，我们相信会能够得到一些必要的支持和帮助。
In terms of our cooperation and the development in Hefei regarding NIO China, we will work together with the Hefei government and other related departments to work out the specific policies. We believe we should be able to get some preferential and supportive policies.
Thank you.
Thank you, William. Sorry, I got one more quick question. So maybe it's still early, but for the year-end NIO Day, will you consider to launch another new product, or as your previous guidance that the sedan launch probably will be postponed to 2021 or 2022? So in this year-end, there is no possibility to launch sedan or other new models. Thank you.
谢谢，我知道大家都很期待我们年底的 NIO Day， 这个也期待我们发布更多的新车。那当然从NIO 的开发的效率角度来讲的话呢，我们从这个17年的 NIO Day 开始，每年都发布了一款新车。那我们并不想打破这个传统，所以还是期待一下，但今天还没法给更多的细节。
Thanks for your question. I understand everyone is looking forward to the NIO Day and of a new product launch. This actually proves we have a very high product development and R&D efficiency, because starting from the NIO Day in 2017, we launch our new product every year on the NIO Day. Of course, we don't want to break this tradition, but at this moment, we cannot disclose the specific details.
Got it. Thank you, William.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Jiaji Shen of JP Morgan. Please ask your question.
Hi, William and Stephen. Yeah, hi, it's Nikolai from JP Morgan. Thank you for taking my question. I know that we have a few minutes only left, so two very simple or high-level questions. The first one on the cash flow. Can you walk us through on the cash flow? In terms of inflow and outflow. You mentioned earlier in the first quarter we issued roughly about $435 million CB. That's roughly about 3 billion RMB. But at the same time, for the investment in NIO China, in NIO Inc., the first two installments due in June, we need to invest altogether 2.5 billion. And on top of that, presumably at each quarter, the cash burn is somewhere about 1.5 to 2 billion RMB. So if you can provide some number or guidance on the quarterly cash inflow and outflow, that will be appreciated. And should we assume with all the investment, maybe in the next 1 year, we probably don't need to go to capital market and raise fund again. So that's a cash flow related question. And the second simple question is really on volume. I remember in the 2019 result call, we had about 5,000 units of backlog order. Can you give us an update of that number by first quarter? And also 2Q, the guidance of 9,500 to 10,000 units of delivery. Is a split between ES8 and ES6 similar to first quarter? Then lastly, on EC6 new model, how should we think about the volume? Would it be similar or close to ES6? Thanks.
Okay, so thank you for your question. This is Jade. I'm going to answer the first question that you have. Yes, at the end of the first quarter, we did have about 2.4 billion RMB as cash on our balance sheet. Thanks to the CBs that we have raised in the first quarter, which has supported our operating and cash needs, and also that the rest of the money that we have right now definitely can be injected from New Inc. to New China for the installment as the investment we need to make in New China. So as for the future plans of the cash injection, we are going to monitor the market very carefully and see what's the best time and appropriate methods to raise the capital in the future. And we definitely will get sufficient cash to support our future business development and expansion. So that is on the cash side. And on your second question regarding the orders, I think William can answer some from that.
Yeah, 当我们没有公布具体的订单的数量，我只能说在经历这个交付以后，我们手上库存的这些订单，我们手上目前还有的订单肯定是超过他刚才说的这个数的。那么从目前来讲的话呢，你先看。
At this moment, we cannot disclose the specific number of the order backlog, but according to our data, on the current backlog, it should be over 5,000, just like you mentioned.
对，那从 ES8 和 ES6 的这个量的角度来讲的话呢，那因为毕竟 ES8 的这个起售价格比 ES6 的话要高10多万人民币，高11万人民币。那当然，所以它的量的话呢，肯定是要比 ES6 小一些。那从交付的角度来讲呢，因为 ES8 从4月19号开始交付新的 ES8 以后，它的这个爬坡呢也需要一个过程，那会逐步的这个交付量会逐步的提升。那总体上来说呢，如果说是从一个比例的角度来讲，我们认为长期的这样一个比例应该大概在1:3左右这样的一个比例啊。如果从他们的一个市场细分市场的一个角度去看的话，那我们目前看每天新增的订单大体上占这个比例。
In terms of the product mix of the ES8 and ES6, as you know, the starting price of the ES8 is 110,000 more than that of the ES6. So it's quite natural that ES6 has a higher volume compared with the ES8. But after we start the delivery of the ES8, we also need some time to ramp up the production, the sales, and the deliveries to the users. According to our current data, the percentage of the ES8 and ES6 should be 1:3, and this is because of the specific market segment.
那 EC6 的话呢，我们因为还没有公布定价，我们还在思考这个各种EC6 的一些用户群和最合适的一个定价策略。那肯定这个 EC6 的这个 demand 肯定我们是要看到这个定价最终的定价出来了以后，我们会更加的 clear 一些，这个还是跟价格还是有直接的关系的。我们也是要根据产能，根据整个产品的战略去综合决定这个事情，包括市场的竞争情况。我们公布了定价以后会更清晰一些。但目前的话呢，已经有不少的这个意向金的这个订单的用户，但又没有公布定价，我们还没有收取大定。
For the EC6, because we haven't released the specific pricing yet, we still need some time to understand what should be the pricing strategy for the EC6 and what is our target user group for the EC6. So we will need to understand those specific information to have a clear picture for the market demand. At that time, we also need to make a dynamic decision based on the production capacity, competition landscape, and our product strategy to determine the pricing. At this moment, we have received some intention orders, but because we haven't released the pricing yet, so we cannot receive the non-refundable orders at this moment.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you.
As there are no further questions now, I'd like to turn the call back over to the company for closing remarks.
Thank you again for joining us today. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact us through the contact information provided on our website. This concludes the conference call. You may now disconnect the line. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.